it's Achiara here. So in this video, I would like to share with you how I get from I can't get down to splits like a queen. Some of you who have been following me on Instagram has asked, or have asked, is it has or have? How to get into a splits pose. I've been posting pictures of me doing splits in the air, you know, with back bends or this variation, and some of you have requested on tutorials. I'd like to share with you in this video only two stretches, I repeat, two stretches that I do to get myself splitting. All you need is 2 blocks and a yoga mat. The first stretch that I would like to share with you is what I call the hip flexor stretch. So some of you who have been going to the gym, you might be familiar with this stretch. It's just basically a lunge, but what we want is to stretch this bit, this area here. So the common mistake that people make is they tend to realign their hips. So the hips, I want it squared. So you want this hips to be squared. What I mean by squared is get them facing forward like headlights on a car. We want opposing forces working here. So if you are stretching your left, this is my left hip flexor, you want to imagine you drawing your right hip back and leaning your left hip forward. So trying to get the hips squared in this square position. Second common mistake is sometimes we like to sink, especially those super, you know, mobile females mostly. They tend to, this is easy, man. No, we don't want that. We want to have active posture. So sometimes our knees are too far. We don't want that. So we want our knees to just be at a right spot where we can actually feel the stretch. Okay, so we can feel the stretch. So, and then also a 90-degree bend here, not too far again, an active stretch. So just hold here for a good 1 to 2 minutes to get the benefits of it. You can feel the stretch here. For some of you who can't go this low, this is fine as well. As long as you feel the stretch that's going on here. Okay. So of course you'll be doing it on both sides because you have 2 legs. 2 legs, of course, doing it on 2 sides. So again, hips forward, squared, engaged by drawing this bent leg to the back, and the one that you're stretching forward. You should be able to feel the stretch here. No sinking hips, none of this, yeah? None of this, yeah? So that's stretch number 1. So I'll hold this stretch for about 1 to 2 minutes, and you should be feeling the blood rushing into your hip flexors when you release it, and it's so good, I'm telling you. Try it. The second stretch that I do, it's half Hanumasana. Don't know how to pronounce that. So it's basically a hamstring stretch. A common mistake is people tend to hunch. Okay, hunch. I know it's called like half monkey pose, but no, we're not monkeys in this one. So what we want to do is we want to draw our shoulders away from our ears and keep an upright posture. Okay, so this is where the block actually comes in handy. Some of you might want to start from here, and that's fine. Yeah, you should be able to feel something at your hamstrings, and when you feel, you know, oh, I can go lower, then go lower, and one day you'll be like, I don't need you blocks. You'll be here, and who knows, one day you'll be able to go in your forearms. So again, we do not want this. It's not sexy at all. You want this. Okay. And of course, you do it on both sides. Also, you might be starting off here. And then, as you progress, you go lower and lower, and eventually lower. I like to flex my toes because then I like plan. This is Dorothy. Dorothy flex my foot, so I can actually feel the stretch going on here as well. So I'm not just stretching my hamstrings, I'm stretching the entire back of my legs, which is awesome. Yeah. A minute to 2 on this. Another pointer is, again, we want to have the opposing forces going on here. So if you're stretching your right leg, right hamstring, you want to imagine you pulling your right leg back, your right hip, back, and your left one stays square. So we want, like, again, square. We do not want this or that or anyhow. We just want our hips to be parallel, facing forward like headlights of a car. Again, I forgot to mention that your hip flexor stretch, if you can't go as low again, you can use the blocks. Blocks are your friend. So, again, ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Maybe one day you can go this. Okay, but the main stretch we want to focus on is on our hip flexor. So, the third step after finishing these 2 stretches is to combine them. So, hamstring to hip flexor. Again, active stretches, hamstring to hip flexor. Chest always remains forward. Be proud, like a pigeon or a flamingo. And once you feel you're ready, you can try to split. Some of you will be here, and that's fine. That's where your block comes in again. You can be putting it here. Be like, okay, feel the stretch. And maybe after a week or a month, you'll be here. Lower. Feel like I can kiss the floor now. And who knows, one day, look, Mom, no blocks. To intensify the stretch on the hamstring, you can lean forward and keep your foot flexed. If you want to be focusing on your hip flexor, you'll be upright. And if this one day becomes like a piece of cake, and you want to stretch more on your hip flexor, you can start trying to find your other foot. Maybe you can feel the stretch is quite intense, I'm telling you. Intense. Again, in this pose, we want our hips to be square. Okay, so we do not want, or maybe I'll show you on this side, because this side is the less flexy side, my left bit. So when I started splitting, I thought I was doing a split. I was like, look, I'm splitting. No, actually, I'm not splitting at all. What we want in the split is also the square hips. So we want our hips to be facing forward, not like this. We do not want to show that to anyone. You want it to be facing forward, right? So once this becomes super easy, okay, and you want to have a more intense stretch on your hip flexor, you can try this pose. I'm not very warm yet because it's still in the morning. I have my socks on because it's cold in the morning. So there you go, only 2 stretches that I do to get into the split pose. And also listen to your body. It took me about a year a year to actually get into a full split. I was patient with myself because everybody is different. So be patient with yourself. Listen to your body. If your body says, oh, that's enough, that's enough. Stay there for about a minute or two, or 3 minutes. And as long as you commit to this 2 stretches, only 2 guys, just 2, then I'm pretty sure you get your split in no time. As long as you're making progress each day, that's what we want. So it's me, Achiara, here, teaching you how to split like a queen.